I was at a wedding and basically I wanted to share, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the main message of this, anyway, we'll just get into it. So basically, there's somebody I know, which I haven't seen in years. Basically, this dude, like, proper saved my life. I'm still not told him that. And basically, at this wedding, I was like humming and hawing whether to kind of get his number so we could catch up. But then I realized actually I'm now a child of God, and this at this point, if to me it'd be shoving temptation in my face just because I do like anyway. Whatever, you get what I mean when I say it'd be like temptation in my face. So I was thinking, should I get his number? Should I not get his number? But then I think there's no point of even like risking it, because sometimes God obviously wants us to minister to everybody, but sometimes if that involves putting ourselves at risk of kind of falling, not even just falling, or doing activities that, that obviously are kind of like not necessarily forbidden, but well, yeah, forbidden to be fair, we actually think about it to be forbidden, then we don't want to put ourselves in that vulnerability. And we always remember when it comes to Joseph, I mean, obviously Joseph, he was set up, but he literally ran from the scene. And out of all the things, when it comes to lust, God tells us to just to run from it. You can't fight it, because if you didn't know why, basically lust is lust. So obviously God made man and woman to reproduce and stuff, so it's kind of like a gift. And unfortunately, because it's a gift, we can sometimes desire it. That's why out of all the sexual sin is completely rife right now, like completely rife. Anyway, that's just for another video. And sometimes we can still pray for that person and wish for their salvation, but sometimes we do have to do it at a distance, just to obviously to protect ourselves as well. And we can also ask God to send somebody else. We can always ask God to send somebody else. So don't feel that you have to. If you feel that forever, it could be the activities they do, or it could be you find them attractive and you don't think you can control yourselves, or you think something may happen from it. Don't feel forced that you have to kind of like go in there and make a friendship or kind of that sort of thing, especially if you know that temptation is going to be there. Just ask God to just pray at a distance and ask God to send somebody else. Or you may see them at a later date and they've been saved because of your prayers and stuff. So just felt the need to just share that. Yes, God tells us to kind of spread the gospel to everyone, but also, because like a good example would be if you were used to be, say for example, an alcoholic, it's probably best that you don't go around town in pubs or clubs sharing the gospel, because somebody else can do that. That's why there's so many different people in the body of the church, because they can all go to these different places. If you can't, don't kind of put yourself in a state where you could sin, because you really, really want, say, that particular group to be saved or that kind of thing. Just pray for them. Like, you can just literally pray for them, ask somebody else, ask God to send somebody else. Or even if you know somebody else, maybe if it's that close, if there's somebody in your friend group who's also kind of the same level of as you is in spreading the gospel, even ask them to talk to them or try and build something up. But don't force yourself into situations which could lead you to sin or lead you into temptation, because of the sake of the gospel, because that's not what God wants us to do. That's not what he wants us to do. He wants us to share the gospel but he doesn't want us to put in a position where we could be in an environment which could lead us to sin just for his sake, because that's not what he wants us to do. That's why there's so many of us. There's so many of us that's why he says we're supposed to share the gospel. Like every individual one of us is supposed to share the gospel, because we're supposed to reach out and stuff. And some people can't reach just some people groups, because of past things that they've done in their lives. So that's why there's so many of us, different talents, different like that. But as I said, don't feel the need to put yourself in a situation to share a gospel which could possibly lead you to sin or lead you to do something that isn't okay in God's eyes.